everybody. Welcome to another edition of About 30 Minutes, the podcast all about life here in Tuscarawas County. And we have Lacey with us today, who is, and we'll call you an entrepreneur. So,
yes.
Businesswoman, entrepreneur. So, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, tell us about your business. Just real quick, sum up your business in like one or two sentences. What do you got?
Lacy Performing Arts Center, where we teach all styles of dance, including musical theater, singing, and we also provide sensory movement classes for special needs children and adults.
Okay. Now, tell me a little bit about your qualifications to this, because if I understand correctly, you've done quite a bit of dancing yourself. I mean, you've done performing.
Never.
Is that correct? Never?
Never. No qualifications.
No qualifications. Come on.
Yes, I've danced for years, too long.
Okay.
Started when I was about 5 to 6 years old, somewhere in there, and then danced locally in Dover all my life. Was trained by the same instructor. She was phenomenal. She had great connections herself, which led me to my connections in the dance world and entertainment industry. So then when I was about 16, I booked a gig with Aaron Carter. I toured with him on the weekends, and I would go and I would perform at his shows, and you could only go to certain, states or certain cities that were in a certain radius because I was underage.
Right.
So did that for a little bit. That got me a nice little blip on my resume. And then I toured with a dance convention for about 3 years, and I was an assistant to some really great names in the industry still. And
Do you want to drop any? Do you want to drop any names?
You won't know them.
Okay.
Amy Allen.
No, don't.
Drop. Or wait, you go to discount. No, she danced for Backstreet Boys, Aaliyah.
Oh, okay.
She's Usher and Neo's choreographer right now.
Oh, okay.
But she trained me from age 16 up until about 18, 19. And I moved in with her actually when I moved to Los Angeles. So skip ahead, graduate high school. Day after graduation, literally day after I walked, car was packed, pulled out of Speedway here in New Philly, and hit the road and drove to Los Angeles.
Wow.
Lived there for 3 years on and off, worked as a professional dancer, and was in a couple films. And then...
You want to drop any titles?
Eagle Eye.
Oh, yeah,
Shia
yeah.
LaBeouf.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg film.
Okay.
Okay, nothing huge. Justin Bieber. I'm in his first doc series that they did, or documentary movie. And then I was on the scene for... or on set for a couple, just for friends or for like fill-ins. And then I worked with Nick Cannon. I worked with Chris Brown for his New Year's Eve show. I did Young Jock. That's an old one. Let's think. Cheetah Girls. I did High School Musical. I did... Okay, you want to...
I mean, that's... No, I would definitely...
Aaron Carter's my bigger one. Justin Bieber. My list is longer of the ones I didn't book than the ones I booked.
Okay.
So
give me one that you didn't do that you kind of look back now and go, maybe I should have.
I wish I would have done this is totally random.
Okay.
I wish I would have done a Disney Cruise Line. Disney, I know.
Really?
Disney is phenomenal with performers. And they have so many job opportunities that once you're hooked with them, you're in the Disney world, basically.
Yeah.
And I turned that down. And I turned that one down, unfortunately. And that was for the New Year's Eve party with Chris Brown.
Oh, my God.
But that was still fun.
Unbelievable. So how long were you in L.A.? I mean, how long?
I was there for 3 years, so I was going to be turning 21. I moved home when I was right in the middle of being 20.
Okay.
Yep.
What brought you back?
The lifestyle.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was young. I was really young, and I had a lot of fun.
I was going to say, you had fun.
I had a lot of fun. I mean, you're young, you're working with those people, and I had a lot of great friends that guided me in a great way. Twitch was one of my good friends. He passed away recently, and he was phenomenal. He was in all my classes. He was always pushing people to be the best they could be, and I was in that group of people out there that TV didn't have any dance shows yet. So You Think You Can Dance was just getting started.
Okay.
America's Got Talent, America's Best Dance Crew, that was all just getting formed. So the entertainment world kind of went berserk all of a sudden when I was just hitting my 20s, and it was just like everybody was out for each other's throats.
Sure.
Like, we're going to create these crews, and then we're going to audition, and we're going to be, the next dancer that's going to be huge on TV. And there was a lot more difference behind the scenes than what you see on TV. So it kind of, the atmosphere was changing and shifting, and I wasn't with it. I didn't like it. Wow. I wanted to be home. I wanted to do something I thought more meaningful, and that was, I guess, teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you came home. Now by this time, so this would have been in 2000.
It's been 2000. Okay, so 2007 I left.
Right.
2010.
2010.
And I would have opened my studio in 2010 as well.
Okay.
Shortly after I got home.
So you've opened several studios.
Yes.
You've done that before. Okay. So
Yes.
how do we get from the very first one you opened to where we are now? Yeah.
Insanity. You know, like
Okay.
you get.
All right.
So when I was in 2010, I would have been 20. I started working with the small business, the SBDC down that's here locally that helps small businesses get up and running.
Right.
With Steve Schilling. He was phenomenal. I was his first client, his first person that he'd ever worked with here in Tusk, and he led me to be able to get my first loan with no collateral, no cosigner, no anything. And I opened up a small studio there right in New Philly behind Fenton Brothers Electric.
Oh,
So-
okay. All right. I got you.
Yeah.
I see where you are.
And it was phenomenal. But we built it all. I mean, we went in there, we renovated the whole place. I painted everything. I laid my own floors with my uncle. I mean, it was a lot. It would flood all the time, and I'd be in there mopping, and you know, it was a very bare minimum because I was so young and learning.
Right.
Then 3 years owning it, it was phenomenal. We were doing great. I ended up because of life changes. I merged with another studio that was local, and we opened up a brand new studio. And that one went really well as well for another 3 years.
All right. So there's two.
Yeah, there's two.
We're two
We're
studios.
two right now.
Okay. All right.
By then, I was about 26. And during that time, I would still go to LA every summer for about a month to a month and a half. And I would train and train and train, and then I'd go to New York for 2 weeks. And then I would train in New York in different studios because, you know, East Coast, West Coast are totally different dance styles,
Sure.
different teachers. So for those 6 years, I was still very in the picture of the entertainment world still. Then I met my husband.
Okay.
And then I realized that, you know, I wanted to have kids. I wanted to have a family. And that was a big reason is why I came back to Tuscarawas County is you take it for granted when you're a kid. You don't understand it.
Right.
And even in your early 20s, you take it for granted. You know, there's nothing to do. There's no, you know, big job for me. When really there is. There's so many opportunities for you here. You just don't see it until you go out, and then you go to different counties and different cities and states, and then you realize, holy moly,
Yeah.
I got it good.
Right.
You know, you walk down the street here, people wave at you. They smile at you. You know, I'm not kidding. You walk down in Encino, California, they tell you, you don't look at people.
Yeah.
You don't wave.
Yeah.
That's an issue.
Yeah.
You keep your head down, you walk where you need to go, and that's it.
Right.
And when they tell you this,
Don't make eye contact.
no eye contact. No, you smile at somebody and they're coming at you, like they're thinking you're mocking them or something. And that's not a joke. That's Detroit. That's Chicago. That's New York. New York's a little bit friendlier.
Yeah.
But still, you keep yourself guarded. These streets, you know, in every little city in this county that you go down, you're, you know, for the most part, you're safe.
Yeah.
And people are nice, and you can at least smile and walk by them.
You're home.
You're home.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Oh, sorry, I got off track. didn't I?
No. That's okay because, so you've got, we're what, two in?
We're two in.
Two
Yeah, we're
in.
two
Okay,
businesses
so, and then what happens next?
Okay, so then I decide I want to own a drive-through.
Okay.
I don't know why. So random. So I buy a drive-through.
Okay.
I do that for 6 months. It don't work. Bye.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
done.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Then I decide, you know, we get pregnant. I decided I just want to take a retirement of dance. I'm done. Maybe I'll stay at home.
Right.
Be a stay-at-home mom. I'll try something different. So I hang up my dance shoes for about 5 years. And then I lasted for about 2 months as a stay-at-home mom until I tried to sell my kid. Like, no, I just couldn't do it. It's hard.
Wow.
I know, it's hard. I applaud every stay-at-home mom. That is not an easy job. No, thank you.
Hey, believe me, my mom raised myself and my brother, and it was like when I was old enough to go to kindergarten, then she went back out of the workforce.
Yeah.
You know, that was it. But I remember there were many times that she talked about having yourself committed.
Absolutely. I'm not a stay-at-home mom now, and I want to commit myself on an every other day basis. Yeah. It is a hard gig.
Yeah.
Being a mom and working, or just being a mom in general is a hard gig.
Right.
And being a wife, it's hard too. You guys are complicated.
Now don't. Okay, we're not going to get into this on this show.
Okay, sorry, wrong podcast.
No. So don't you dare put everything on us.
3 businesses.
So your drive-through. No, I'm not interested. No, go
No,
ahead.
we'll skip that one. 3 in.
Yeah.
Then 5-year break.
Right.
I meet you. I get to work with you.
Yes, we worked together. We enjoyed some quality time at the United States Postal Service. So she keeps
There's your
mugging
plug.
my camera.
I don't know where it's supposed to go. I'm a newbie to this.
That's
but
okay.
There's cameras everywhere.
Yes.
Okay. So I try other gigs, right?
Right.
I waitress, I bartend, I work at the post office, I do all these things. Cannot figure out what I want to do.
Right.
Have my second child. 18 months, he gets diagnosed with autism. We learn a whole different world. Our life's turned upside down.
Now, just to because this is really the driving force behind
It is.
your current business.
It is.
What was that like? To all of a sudden realize, oh my gosh, because it seems it's one of those things that you hear a lot of folks say, and I'm significantly older than you, so. But it's one of those things that it really wasn't talked about, really wasn't that big of an issue.
No.
When I was growing up here in Tuscarawas County, I got into education and I start realizing there's a lot of this happening.
Kind of like a pandemic.
It is. I mean, it really and truly is a pandemic, and it's so mysterious.
It is.
And it's so unusual. So what was that like?
Well, we knew I could tell something was different because of having them so close. They're 12 months apart in 1 week. So, I mean, they are Irish twins. They're very close.
Right.
So watching Jet progress, knowing him waving, him blowing kisses,
Yes.
him looking at me in the eyes all the time.
Right.
Cash has never been someone not to be touched or hugged. Now, some autistic kids are,
Right.
and you can tell it that way.
Yes.
Some autistic kids will find ways to sensory their brain or calm their brain by rocking,
Right.
or shaking their hands.
Right.
So then you can kind of pinpoint it easier. This was more of just like a delay. Like, oh, he's really not like blowing kisses to us or waving goodbye, not showing any interest.
Yeah.
When he gets in trouble, he's not responding to, a spank on the body or on the bottom or spank on the hand. Like, he's not responding at all to it. So we brought it to our pediatrician, Dr. Burkowski, who's phenomenal. And he was right on it. He's like, let's take this little test that they have online. Let's see if he kind of gets on the spectrum.
Okay.
And he did. And then life hits you.
Right.
And you're going, okay, my baby, there's something wrong with my baby. Now, he's healthy,
Yes.
but there's something wrong and I don't understand it. So then you have to start reading. And then you read, and then it scares the crap out of you.
Oh, I imagine. I mean, there's so much we don't know.
It's a very uneducated community,
Yes.
unfortunately.
Yes.
And I think more people, and I think it's been going on for a long time. I think it's getting worse. But I also think that you're hearing about it more because people seem to talk more than they did back then.
Right.
I think back in the older days, it was more of a shunned thing, and doctors didn't understand it, and there weren't specialists for it right away. So then they didn't really know what to do, the parents. So it was more of just, okay, put that kid to the side.
Right.
They don't do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
We don't talk about this, and they'll figure it out.
Right.
Rather than now, it's very much there's more things for them now, somewhat. And there's a lot more studying, and there's a lot more doctors trying to figure it out or trying to figure out how to make it more adaptable for them with typical.
And it's one of those situations where having been a teacher and having had students with varying degrees, being on the spectrum of varying degrees, there's always that desire from the parents of, I want them to be just like everybody else, and I wanted them to be treated like everybody else. But
do
you know, and the teachers know, You can't.
You can't.
You can't.
No.
You can try to make things work, and you can learn to adapt and learn to detect. As a teacher, you can learn to detect, okay, I know that this could potentially be a problem, or this is something they enjoy, or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
It's
it's
hard.
a lot of work for everybody involved.
Yes.
Friends, teachers, family, everybody.
Especially when they're nonverbal. So my son's nonverbal, so he does not speak.
Okay.
No words at all. And he may be nonverbal his whole life, or he may be nonverbal until he starts deciding to talk, or whatnot. He does know some sign language. He's very stubborn and doesn't like to use it. He's more of a let me show you and direct you.
Yes.
But he's very, very smart. And that's what you find is a lot of autistic children and adults are almost too smart.
Yes.
That then it's hard for us to understand it, us typical.
Yes.
And my whole thing on it, from learning and reading and realizing how I treated people maybe, or how I looked at people that maybe had a different appearance or a different, kids acting out in the store. Of course, what's your first initial reaction?
Well,
they need beat, or they need.
Yeah.
Their parent needs to get a hand on them.
Yeah, exactly.
What a brat.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So if you watch some videos on YouTube and you look up what an autistic brain goes through, you have 4 senses.
Yes.
Okay. You act them like they're tubes that act like they're like little tubes that go into your brain.
Right.
Our brain has 4, and they're just plugged right into our brain.
Right.
Here's a sense. Here's a sense. Here's a sense. There you go. An autistic's one is all jumbled up like this.
Right.
Okay. So when they're walking outside, and you may hear a car horn, right? They're hearing everything. They're hearing the leaves rattling along with the car horn, and the lights are brighter because their eye senses are brighter. Their hearing is much more in tune. They don't just hear the surround sound. They hear everything.
Every last
when
thing.
they look at a tree and you look at all the leaves on a tree, we see the whole tree, right?
Mm-hmm. They
They see that beautiful little crystal of white, or that like clear crystal of like rain that's left on that one little leaf. They're so in tune.
very focused.
Very focused on what they're looking at. But then what their brain is doing basically is taking a picture of that tree, and it's saying, okay, this is a tree. You're looking at this, but remember, you still have to remember it's a tree. So they have to remember almost double, or see. So hard to explain.
No. I totally get. I get it.
It's a lot more intense. So birthday parties, parks, zoos, walking in a store.
Yeah. Things that we
take for granted that
Exactly.
are easy
Yes.
to them are so intense and heightened.
Yeah.
And that's why you see headphones on kids a lot more. That's why sometimes they wear sunglasses a lot more.
Yes.
You see some people wear gloves because their senses are so high that touching certain things are so hard for them that it kind of throws their body in whack. When I get nervous, I tend to shake my legs,
Yeah.
or I pick the skin around my nails constantly.
Yes.
Okay. Or if I'm really into something, that autistic person may need to rock.
Right.
But for some reason to us, because you can't see me picking my nails under the table,
Right.
you would be judging me in a sense, or maybe weirded out if I was sitting here doing this, right?
Right.
Okay,
Exactly.
so there's the difference. We have to teach ourselves. It's okay for them to rock,
Right.
or to lay on the ground, feel the pebbles, maybe rub it, take a moment to get that relaxation, then get up and finish what the task is.
Right. Now let's take that. Let's
Sorry, I
take
know
that. No, that is exactly it. Because there needs to be an understanding of why you do what you do, and that's where the next part comes up.
Yes.
This apparently sets off a light bulb in your head when this change comes, when this wrench is thrown into the works of your life,
Yes.
and you think, okay, this is an opportunity to get people to understand,
Yeah.
and then you get to return to your passion of dance.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell us.
Good job.
Well,
So yeah, so we figured that out, and as I watched him, I found out that he liked music.
Yes.
And he loves rhythm movement, and he listens to it, and he will sing, and he'll go like to different, like he has no tone, neither do I, but he'll try to make the same sounds, or the same at least length of the tune.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's very, very amazing to watch. And so I thought, oh my gosh, like there's got to be something for special needs kids, right? For this.
yeah, nothing.
Nothing like what we're doing. So I decided, let's open the dance studio up. That's at least somewhere safe I can put my children.
Sure.
I can work still. They can be there. I'll make sure that I hire teachers that have children, that they feel comfortable there. And I've always said my slogan has always been, even with my first dance studio called Lacy Performing Arts Center, it was where it's about more than just dance. And that's what it is. It's not about just teaching these kids dance. It's teaching them lifelong lessons, how to be a good person, how to be good in school and take care of people in school. We talk about, we do a freestyle circle and we explain to them, this is your free spot, but it should be like that at school too. If you see somebody that's different or you see somebody that's having a hard time, don't walk away from them or shun them or make fun of them. Go and address them and understand them. Understand, why are you having a hard time? What can I do to help you? Give them a hug.
It's also got to be, there's also got to be some in there for your parents on learning how to cope.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do that and we talk a lot. So we have sensory movement right now in the dance studio. Ms. Farah and Ms. Carey from Starlight have come and they've donated a lot of their time in the beginning, and they are phenomenal. We have about over 50 kids and adults that come to us right now on a weekly basis. And every county around Tuscarawas County is on board once this facility that we're going to be opening here this August will be sending their kids to us. But we're going to be opening, so the dance studio will move. We'll still have sensory classes for them there. But then this new facility will be the Lacy Pack Adaptive Movement Center. Yeah. And the Adaptive Movement Center is an extracurricular facility for children and adults with special needs.
So, and again, and this is something else that I really find remarkable. Is that this isn't just kids. And I mean, it's one of those situations that I think we have a tendency to focus on autism in children. Yeah. It's not like it just goes away.
No.
So you are then dealing with, and this might sound totally corny, but my first experience with even knowing anything about autism was the Dustin Hoffman film Rain Man. Yeah. Which, that's the first time, and that was, my gosh, 89, 90, something like that. That was the first time I heard of it. And that specifically is about an adult. Yeah. And it seems like today we are hearing a lot more about children, and rightly so. I mean, because learning how to understand what's going on with them. But again, once you get to adulthood, some of these kids, then what?
Then what?
What
you have to have a purpose, right?
Exactly.
And you're not, and we talk a lot about autism, and I'm going to tell you too. So then you've got Down syndrome, you've got cerebral palsy, you've got ADHD, you've got ADD, you've got, oh my gosh, anxiety tic disorder. There's so many things that we just kind of push to the side. And all of these different children and adults, even, not just autistic ones, have special things that they can do in this community and for different businesses in this area. There are so many Down syndrome children and adults that I know that are so brilliant and have such great ideas, but they're not given that push or that guidance or that help to get them to where they need to go next. So,
I think of some of the kids, because I worked with several inclusion situations in my classroom. I taught junior high school.
Yes.
And it never ceased to amaze me where something that would be, behaviors and that kind of thing that would be considered quote unquote normal for kids. The kids that had special needs might have been behind in quote unquote normal behaviors, but some of their other traits, like compassion, like the ability to remember certain things, is so far accelerated.
It's remarkable.
It's unbelievable.
They see nothing bad in this world.
Yeah.
They see the beauty. And my son, who cannot speak, he is so happy.
Yeah.
All the time.
What's
happy.
Wrong with
What's wrong with this kid? I'm the one, the mess. I'm the problem. You're the problem. They got it together.
We had several kids that I worked with several Down syndrome children over the year, and it was always that the extra chromosome. And I always said, with the kids that I had, it's like that extra chromosome is nothing but love and affection for every single person on the face of the earth. Why do I not have this?
I want it. Yeah, I know. I'm telling you. It's the truth, and that's what people need. We just have to change our way of thinking, and it's hard.
Yes.
It's really hard, but I think slowly and surely it'll come. But the Adaptive Movement Center is going to be their own recreational area. Right. They're a place that they come. They don't have to say sorry. Yeah. They don't have to, not be them.
Right.
we adapt to them. We just run it for them so that they're safe. And we also have a board full of special needs adults, and that board will decide what activities we do, what equipment they want more of, what are we not doing for the younger, generation, and what they wish they would have had.
And who would know better?
Exactly.
There you go. That is fantastic.
Yep. So it's a exciting journey.
Let me ask you, and this is kind of our question here, our wrap-up question is this: how do you live Tusk? Having been here and gone and come back.
I think I lived Tusk. I lived it my whole life.
Yeah.
I tried to live it in Los Angeles. I tried to live it in New York City. I tried to live it in Chicago. I tried to live it in a lot of places. I think once you live in Tuscarawas County and it's a part of you and you're a true Tuscarawas County person, it doesn't leave you. Yeah. And I think it is a special maybe pride that there are such amazing people where I live, and I can do such amazing things in a small area and be safe and change lives that maybe it's not changing the world, but one kid or one adult at a time will help move it along. Yeah. And if I can do that in a small area where I can raise my children safely and in good school systems with good mayors and good leaders, then I think I'm winning a good life. Yeah. And to me, that's how I live it, I guess.
Give me a plug. So how can we reach you? How can people who are interested, reach out to you, connect?
Yeah.
What do we do?
So we're downtown New Philly, right by Brewhouse and China Walk, Lacy Pack. You'll see it right there. You can go to Facebook, look up Lacy Pack, Lacy Performing Arts Center. We also have the Adaptive Movement page set up. So Lacy Pack Adaptive Movement Center. You can go online to our website at amcenter.org. You can email us at lacypack@yahoo.com. Or you can just show up at one of the studios and say hi, because we're always welcome, But yeah, look us up online or check us out downtown. We have lots of adult classes, kids classes. We start them at 6 months old. We take them. I think our oldest student is 80, 82, 81.
No way.
Yeah, our oldest special needs student. Oh, I think Bonnie. I don't want to mess this up. I think she's 67.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
She's great.
Yeah. She's a hoot.
She's a hoot. But yeah, so about 80, I think, was our oldest one so far. Man. But yeah, we have a lot of fun, and that's what it's about,
Now I got to ask you something, because I seem to remember this, and I have a knack for remembering unusual things. Is Cash a fan of Tom and Jerry?
Jet is a huge fan
of
Tom and Jerry. Huge.
I knew one of the boys was, but I couldn't remember which.
Yep.
So, okay.
Jet is, and Cash will watch it, but then he normally tries to turn it off. He doesn't like his brother's shows at all. But Jet is, he can probably tell you what every episode, he can tell you the name of it just by seeing the little picture that comes up, and he loves it. Okay. Yeah, and Looney Tunes.
Me too. Yep, me too.
Yeah,
so.
It's because the old stuff was the best. Kidding me? What junk's on now? But no, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming out today. And this has been Lacy with Lacy Pack, PAC.
Yep.
Okay. And she has told us all today about how she lives Tusk. Folks, we hope you enjoyed the podcast, and we hope to see you again soon.